Welcome to the Pew Pew Nation Podcast. Pew Pew Nation's a group of unapologetically American patriots breaking the politically correct mold, and we just don't care. We're not afraid to dive headfirst into the most controversial topics, gun talk, and call out the woke culture along the way. We get to talk to some very cool people and hear incredible stories and get to share those with you. So lock and load and get ready for the Pew Pew Nation Podcast.
Showtime! Woo! 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 Silent and profiling! Woo! Woo! Stop! We can't take anymore!
What's going on, everybody?
What is happening?
Pew Pew Nation Podcast, episode 5. We're getting there. We're moving up. Moving up the ladder here quickly. We should have just started at 100. Been like, we got 100 episodes under our belt.
Dude, why not, right?
This is episode 105.
105. Damn.
We've been doing this for 2 years now.
Well, we kind of have been.
I mean, we have, yeah.
But not like this, right?
Yeah. You can see all of our old content, though. You'll see. We did 140-something episodes of Pew Pew Nation Live. And then we switched to the Pew Pew Nation Podcast, the new format.
So now we can screw up
Yeah.
and edit.
Yeah. By screw up, Chris means I can edit him screwing up.
Exactly. That's
Usually I just leave it, though, because it's awesome. So
there's nothing.
It's good content.
It is who we are.
We're idiots. We're just
and
big old American winning machines.
yeah. Boom. That's what we are.
Little Talladega Nights there,
Yep.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big old hairy. What's it? A big old hairy American winning machine.
Yep. I think that's the quote. But yeah.
So today we have another guest. We have Three Gun Kenzie,
Boom.
who
Yeah.
we're gonna do a little talking to, a little interview. One of my good friends in this industry, honestly, one of my best friends in this industry. I wish he lived in Michigan because we would do all kinds of cool stuff together, shoots and stuff. But we're gonna talk to her. But before we bring her in, I want to talk about the giveaways. The giveaways went live on episode 4. You guys got to check it out. So if you go to pewpewnationusa.com, the giveaway is now live. You can enter the giveaway by literally just simply liking Facebook stuff, Instagram stuff, putting your email in. There's a million different ways to enter. The more entries you get into the giveaway, the more chances you have to win. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to give a freedom pack away on Pew Pew Nation Podcast, kind of live on the podcast, because we're going to do a live drawing of the wheel, but it won't be live for you guys. But
No, but it'll be when you watch it. It'll be like
yes,
magic of
television.
Yeah,
Internet-ish.
Yeah, internet.
Yeah, whatever it is. So that is coming up. So that is live right now on the website, pewpewnationusa.com. Go over to the website, hit the giveaway tab at the top. If you're on a mobile device, the giveaway tab is in the 3 little lines on the left side of the screen. You hit that, it'll come up, and you'll see the giveaways. Because I'm not very good web builder, so I really don't know how to make it look the same, but it works.
It
so
works.
figure it out. I shoot guns for a living, guys. Like,
Yeah.
I built that website. It's I'm pretty proud of it.
That's how he types.
I do. I'm like, A, C, oh, damn it, backspace.
Backspace.
That's what I do.
It takes forever to write an article.
Yep. It's painful. But anyway, so go over there, guys. Check out the giveaway. It is live now. We're going to be doing this monthly giveaway. That one will be chosen on the episode of September 27th, I believe it is.
Correct, I think.
Don't mark my words on that, but it should be somewhere around there. We're going to close that giveaway on September 20th. And then from there on, Yeah, closes on the 20th. Back open there's going to be a new one starting on the 27th. So make sure you check it out. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, sir.
Actually, it's going to close on the 20th, but a new one will start on the 20th. I think that's how we have it set up.
Something like that.
It's something like that. I don't know. Just go over there and enter the damn giveaway.
Yeah.
Enter it, and maybe you'll win.
Quit
some
asking
shit.
so many questions.
Yeah, seriously. God, it's free stuff. Just get over it already.
I know, right?
We're going to give you something. Freedom packs. That's what I'm calling them.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom packs. Ammo, knives, guns, shirts, stickers, hats.
Sweatshirts. The whole deal.
Whatever.
Who knows what could be in there?
There might be a steak in there one day. Who knows?
Hamburger. Not good when you get it, but hey.
Who knows? Maybe I'll give you a tattoo gift certificate.
Ooh, I want that one.
It just sucks if you're not in Michigan, but if you are, Collective Studio Inks in Rochester, bam! Look at that thing.
When am I coming with you? I need to fill in them.
You do need some.
ton of
Yeah,
filling.
I'm getting this all filled. I think
This needs to be
it
reworked.
might be this week.
Like this one needs reworking. This is like
Yeah, it just needs a little touch ups.
well, it never got
Hold on.
finished. And then when you go back and it's like you need an 8-hour day.
Next Tuesday, my tattoo.
Like you know what I mean? I need like a schedule a whole day if I want to really.
Well, that's the problem is trying to find a whole day, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
right?
this was the AR itself was 1 day of 7 hours, and we both tapped out. We were done, and then went back a couple weeks later to finish it, and that was another 3 hours. So like, who's got time for that?
Nobody.
I mean, I kind of have made time, I
I
guess.
think I'm just gonna have to.
I got 3 more sessions. This needs to get filled because it's like it doesn't seem like it's a very big empty spot, but look at how empty it is.
It's empty. Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm just gonna have to be like my brother and tattoo my own arm by myself. Like,
Yeah,
he literally
there you
did
go.
his entire left
Can
arm.
you do that live on the pod? Like, let's do that next
I don't know if I
episode.
want to practice. on it, so
Episode
I'll start
6. Chris tattoos his own face.
it out. Whoops. I messed up. Be like, wait a minute, no, can't fix that. All right, just fill it in.
Oh damn.
But yeah, I mean, he did his whole arm himself and brought the studio into his house. I guess that's
That's
where
pretty cool.
I'm
That's
getting
my tattoo artist, Larry Farley at Collective Studio Inc. He was showing me, he pulled up his shirt the other day when I was in there, and he's got this giant fucking tattoo. And I'm like, that's pretty sweet, man. Like I'm looking at it's like I don't even remember, it's like a demon thing and like this whole big detailed thing. He did it himself. How do you tattoo your own rib cage?
upside down.
Like
and
he
backwards.
literally did it in a mirror, sitting there like this, just like that's insane. That's how good this guy is. So
Hey, cool.
clearly he's pretty damn good,
I mean, why pay somebody to do it when you can do it yourself?
right? All right, let's bring Kenzie in. She's got to be dying waiting in the waiting
You
room.
want me to tell her to come in? I mean, we tell Alan. You tell Alan to come
Told
in.
Alan to come in. If you
But,
guys
you know,
didn't see,
if you look at it like if we have the ability now to say, hey, I mean,
come on in, Kenzie.
Come on.
Come on in, right from Tennessee.
Tennessee to Michigan,
Michigan.
just like that.
She's-
The magic of television.
All right, let's see what Kenzie's got to say. Make sure you guys enter that giveaway though, and we'll have more information coming out about it. But pewpewnationusa.com. Check it out.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk to Kenzie. I hate that voice. All right, what's going on, Kenzie? We're here with 3-Gun Kenzie.
What is going on?
God, I got a lot of stuff to cover today, I'm sure. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks
No
for
problem.
coming on. And we finally got you.
know.
So it took me forever to get on your podcast, and we had to keep rescheduling because I suck, but we're on. We're here. So
It's funny though, like when people see or hear podcasts, they have no idea what it took to schedule it or when we're filming this, right?
I was literally just talking to my brother about this today and how like we did 100, it was like 142
Yeah, something
episodes,
like
I
that,
think,
yeah,
of
live.
Pew Pew Nation Live, where we did it live, where we started on Facebook, got banned from every Facebook channel I could. Then we went over to YouTube, got banned from YouTube. Then we went over to Rumble. Rumble's platform's just not ready yet. What else do we go? I don't even remember. We tried other stuff too, I think. But
anything, right?
I finally got tired of fighting with it. And then our schedules, you know how, me and you talk all the time and how my schedule is, your schedule, we're just got so much crap going on that we started up the pre-recorded. And I was like, oh, this will be easier.
Yeah.
Way
No.
easier.
No.
It's not at
Five
all.
episodes in here and we're like, well, okay,
Yeah.
let's make this work.
So you run the Radical Up podcast, obviously. So how many episodes do you have?
107 or 8 now, but finally broke that 100 mark, and it's been an episode a week for 2 years. So, math checks out, but it's been really fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's people don't understand how much work it is to do it. And it's not like we make money doing this.
No, and
it's just because I like talking to people. I like telling stories, and
that's it.
I kind of wish I could have every person I've ever interviewed in one Zoom room and just like chit chat. I mean, we would get nothing done, but
yeah.
It's like every time you get off the podcast, people don't understand, but they might not be like us. It's like I get jacked up, inspired, enthusiastic about life, and I miss those conversations. Like I don't know why I don't call those people up more or FaceTime those people more. So
yeah,
podcasting is fun.
Life gets in the way,
Yep.
Absolutely.
So my chest really hurts.
Oh my god!
I stab myself with an EOTech.
Suck it up.
I don't even know how that's possible, but I stab myself with an EOTech and my nipple hurts.
Yeah.
It'd be cooler if it was on video.
There's security cameras in here. I'll have to
cameras.
ask if it was on there.
Okay.
It's so ridiculous. It hurts so
So you
bad.
want to tell them what you did?
I was carrying a gun. I was carrying this 308 actually. This Watchtower back here. This thing is awesome. It's like I fell in love with it shooting with Cash, Ray Cash Care over the earlier this week actually.
Yeah.
And I don't want to send that gun back. So I just carry it with me everywhere now. Like I'm just like, oh, it's my baby. But I was carrying it one-handed. I was talking on the phone and I'm like trying to like juggle two things at once. And I almost dropped it. And I'm like, no. So I went to grab it and the EOTech, literally, like I think it was the battery door, it screws in, stabbed me like right under the nipple and
Knocked the wind out of
I
him.
thought I was going to die.
Couldn't breathe.
I almost died via EOTech.
I don't feel bad. Women have more problems than men.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, you are correct.
So speaking of women, tell everybody that doesn't know who you are watching the Pew Pew Nation podcast, who you are, what you do, and where you came from, I guess.
Short version?
Whatever you want to tell.
Okay. To explain, I've gone by 3-gun Kenzie kind of my whole shooting career now because that's my passion is 3-gun. But I am a writer in the industry like Andy is as well. Doing a lot of content creation. So now I'm, I guess, the face of Athlon Outdoors for Gun Friday. I work a lot with wideners.com and do a lot of their content and their videoing. I am a professional, I guess, sponsored competitive shooter, if you want to call it that. So I've been shooting everything 3-gun, 2-gun, USPSA. I started in GSSF. I've shot cowboy action. Don't judge me. Anyways, I'm shooting PRS this year. So if it has a trigger and if there's something to shoot competitively, I've been there, done that, and want to do more. I also own a marketing company, and that's Radical Up, and started podcasting. So I'm in the industry. I am unemployable. I don't know that I can explain all the things I do for jobs in life and work, but I started out in college, and that was really kind of the inspiration to get started in competition shooting, is that we had a collegiate shooting organization with SASP, which a lot of colleges now have a lot more of that. And it's not just the skeet and the trap clubs, it's pistol and rifle, and made the team, tried out, and that kind of spiraled. I feel there's not very many 20-year-olds kind of competing because of the financial burden of competition shooting. So I started volunteering. I was an RO, worked hundreds of matches, but they would pay for your travel, pay for your match fee. You'd get to be able to shoot. And so I did a lot of that. Andy Chris never thought I would end up here. I don't know about you guys, but here I am. So that's where we landed.
Yeah, no, that's we talk a lot. Obviously, we're good friends, but we have the same, no, there's no way we should have ever been here. Like, what am I doing? Like,
Right.
I just filmed a video with a badass Navy SEAL. I have John Wick's guns in my possession right now. Like, it's just stupid things. That's like, how do you get here? What happened?
I know. I got paid yesterday to do the same thing with the Gen 12 shotgun, not the John Wick version, but I got paid to do a video and talk about shotgun ammo and didn't pay for any of the ammo. And but it is a pinch me reality where it's like, I get to use my knowledge that I've learned and get paid for that. That's been rewarding. Like, very cool to be here.
It is. So as a woman in the industry, I'm obviously a guy in the industry. I fit the mold, right? Like women in the industry are, I don't know if the right word is rarer, but there's not as many obviously women in the firearms industry or in this outdoor industry in general. So how does that work? Like, how do you have issues with that? Do you struggle with that as a woman calling up a company and talking about that you're going to write an article or, that you're a professional shooter or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, starting out, I think you just have to put in the time and the effort to kind of show your expertise and your knowledge. And so for me, like, obviously, like right out of the gate, I wasn't asking for sponsorships or looking for any of that. I was just there to learn and all of that. But it took years to build up the credibility. So I actually took a class and I'm an AR-15 armorer. I build my own guns. So like that kind of adds to like, okay, she knows her stuff. I went on a TV show where most people that know how to build ARs wouldn't be able to be behind the camera, try to build an AR and paint it and, go shoot it on TV, right? Like, so it takes balls to kind of show up and do that, even for a dude to do that.
Mm-hmm.
For females, though, I mean, like it is unfortunate where there's less of us. Maybe there's just less interest, or honestly, it's intimidating to get into this industry. It still is. Like there are days where I'm like, hey, I don't know this. And like people laugh at me. I'm like, well, I don't know till I don't know. And at least I can say I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I don't have an ego when it comes to learning, like teach me. I think the struggle point though is you have to work almost twice as hard as a dude to be like a legit knowledgeable source, not so much on the sponsorship side. Unfortunately, it's the opposite. If you're a female, you have 90% more opportunity to go out there and get sponsored or what have you, because companies want to work with these females and they just check a box of female rather than actually looking at credentials or what they know and what they don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously, Andy and I have been to some events where he has literally firsthand watched mansplaining happen to me.
It's actually amazing.
It's just ridiculous.
I actually, every time I'm at an event with you, any kind of media event or shooting event, I hope it happens. And I hope I'm there because it's just like the most entertaining thing I've ever seen. Because she tears these people apart. Like,
that's awesome.
She's like me and you, where like we just say what we want to say. We don't really have filters. So the event, like, I'll let you tell the story, but this was amazing. Like this guy just had to teach her how to shoot an AR.
Well, we had a bolt gun, yeah, on a tripod pointed downrange at the target, right?
It's a bolt gun, that's right.
I don't think this sounds horrible, but like I don't ever put my bolt guns on safe because they don't have to be. If you've got the bolt lock to the rear, especially in PRS, you can move. Like nobody has their safety on. But anyways, I like insert the mag, haven't even moved yet, haven't gotten behind the gun, fingers not even on the trigger, like mag is in, and this dude freaks out. You know that gun's live. You know that safety's off. I'm like, holy crap. Like, have you given me a second to get behind the gun? The safety is really not important. I know it sounds terrible as a gun person, but we know if your finger's not on the trigger, the gun's not going off. The bolt's not even forward. There's nothing in the chamber. And I'm like, sir.
She wasn't even behind the gun yet.
Like, I was like, can we come? Can we come? I didn't explain to you how to shoot any of these, and I'm finally like getting behind there. And he's like, do you know where everything is? And I'm like, holy crap. Pretty sure I do like 50,000 rounds a year.
Yeah. This is after she pulled out this, I don't even know what that pistol was.
So I had an Infinity Firearms handgun, 2011 open gun. That's 12 grand. I let everybody shoot, brought the ammo to let everybody shoot, that you have to load the ammo. So like custom gun. And I watched the dude not use the thumb pedal, put it under the thumb pedal, not have the right grip. And I didn't say anything.
Yeah, I don't think he hit a target.
Should have said something.
I don't do that though, Chris. That's unless you ask. It's the same thing. I'm not going to mansplain. Like, enjoy the gun. It's not going to hurt you. Or you learn fast. If you put your finger in the wrong spot, you'll find out. But they don't ask. Like, if I was being handed an open gun for the first time, and I've done that before, where I'm like, how does this work? Like, I've never shot an open gun. Teach me how, or what is this, right?
Well, I that event, I asked you. I was like, I've never shot one of these. This thing is sweet. I've always wanted to. What do I do?
Yeah.
You're like, thumb here, this, and like, it's kind of natural when you're holding that gun if you know how to shoot. But clearly, I don't even think our host held it properly, honestly.
No, and our on those guns too, it's not a slide ride dot. It's actually tapped and it's like sitting up on its own optic mount. And so for people that are not used to charging it, there is a side charging handle. It's not something that you're gonna rack with like the slide. So just people, yeah. It's simple stuff, but it's still like, hey, why not ask questions if you've never shot it before? But that's one instance. I think my favorite is I've had somebody literally hand load the rifle for me, like tell me this is at the Gundy. It's like, oh, it's unsafe. This is the blah, blah, blah trigger. And I was like, let me know when you're done. And like my buddies are competition shooters. They work for the company and they're standing by. And then they finally hand me the rifle. And I offhand 50 yards, 100 yards, 50 yards, like double tap and all this stuff. And I'm done. I'm like, thank you for letting me shoot it. And the guy was like, uh-huh. And then my buddies were cracking up. They're like, by the way, we should have told you, like, she shoots with us just a little bit. Like, but you mansplain the shit out of that. And I hate it when someone loads a gun and hands it to me and like scarily puts it in my hands. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. That's awesome. That's hilarious. Well, it is like, seriously, it's one of my favorite things at an event when I watch that happen. Like somebody that doesn't know who you are, or even if they know who you are and they're just like, oh, she's a girl, I gotta help her. And it's like, no, you don't actually, especially when you don't know what you're doing yourself. Like,
yeah. It was fun at Rendezvous because who said it? I think it was Taya, where she's like, well, we were just walking around behind you with a cowbell dinging like you were hitting targets because obviously you weren't hitting anything. And I'm like, that's funny.
That is true though, probably. I watched you shoot.
No, dude, that's the fun part. I pick it up and I shoot it. That was the reason like Nighthawk was like, holy cow. I'm like, I shoot a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's with Nighthawk. I picked up at that event, the Sandhawk, and I was like, I haven't shot one of these. I've always wanted to. I picked that thing up and that dueling tree was right in front of me.
That's what I shot.
And I'm like, ting, and I'm like, holy cow, ting, 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 ting. And I'm like, whoa, this is amazing. And they're like, you've shot before, right? Like, I'm like, dude, this gun makes me a better shooter. Like, it legit 100%. Does. Like, that thing's amazing.
2011s are like the cheater platform. Once you go that up, it's hard to go back down.
It really is. Yeah, like you grab a good 2011 and then you go to shoot like a Glock and you're like, huh.
Yeah.
What is this? Ew. Peasants.
Ew. Ew.
Yeah. So you just actually got sponsored. We're talking about Nighthawk. You just got sponsored by Nighthawk, correct?
Yeah, it was after like meeting both them, Mark and Landon, at Rendezvous, and I did the same thing. Picked up the gun, shot the little dueling tree, like bing, bing, and they're like, huh. And I know like Landon had talked to me, I think sometime maybe in March. I think it was after SHOT Show coming into NRA of they wanted to add like a female representative on the team too that shoots a lot more on the like they have Kylie that shoots Steel Challenge and stuff, but I'm obviously in like the action shooting sports, and USPSA just added the limited optics division. So yeah, so they made my BDS 9. So it's the boardroom double stack 9mm. Put the flared magwell on it myself. But I mean, what people don't understand about these guns is they are true works of art. So this is handmade one gunsmith from start to finish. They actually came out with a new aggressive texture too. So this has that on there. Nice, they put the ambi safety on it for me. And then I've been working with Holosun a lot. And this has the new 507 comp red dot optic on it, which is great because with the different reticle systems, you can have like a center two MOA dot, and then you could have like your 20 MOA circle or a 32 MOA circle. So for me, if I'm shooting, which I do this because I hate slugs, so I hate shotgun slugs, I will instead shoot 2 pistol shots at a target 50 to 75 yards away. So having that larger reticle really helps me just getting on target and being able to hit those impacts. So honored to shoot for Nighthawk. Yeah, that came out of kind of Rendezvous and knowing Mark and Landon.
They're awesome. They're awesome guys.
That's sharp.
That gun's sweet.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Yeah. I better get to shoot that at the next media event.
Yeah, but I fly with guns. I might as well just check that.
Yeah. Yep, I do too. So, but I don't have cool guns. So, well.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I don't have a Nighthawk.
No, I don't either.
Not yet. Not yet.
Maybe if I identify as a girl.
Yeah. Is it that easy nowadays? Just say,
is that how that works?
Yes, right?
No. I mean, like, and that's the thing with Nighthawk is like they're not going to add a gun bunny to the team. That's not their values either in their morals as a family company too. So like it's stuff where it's like, hey, are you actually going to shoot the gun, use the gun? Are you out there promoting the gun, making content? And so that's the thing is like I see the companies that do sign those people, and that's great. That's their business, whatever. I don't really support those companies, and the people that are in the industry kind of know that, right? It's like we'd be out. When we go out and like buy our stuff, it's like let's support the companies that are doing the right things. That is harder for sure. but it's the better. Yeah.
Well, that's like, so you do stuff a lot like I do stuff where like, yes, you have your sponsors obviously, but your sponsors, you believe in their products. You don't just like, oh, hey, this guy's going to give me a free gun, so I'm just going to do this video for him or something. And that's how I do things too. And I get a lot of flack for it on, especially on YouTube. The YouTube comments they're very entertaining. If you ever want some entertainment, go through some of my gun review things that I do on YouTube. Because I do these like one take first impression of a gun. It's the first shots that I've put through the gun. And people they lose their minds. Like I just did one on the Echelon, the Springfield Echelon. And Springfield's kind of known for sending guns to guys that will review them and give them good reviews, I guess. Now that gun actually is badass. I'm not gonna lie. I was impressed with that gun, but I didn't think I would be impressed with that gun. But I had all these, like the couple things that I didn't like on it. People are commenting and they're like, this guy on YouTube said that this gun didn't have that issue, and you're saying it has that issue. And I'm like, well, that's cool. Like maybe his didn't. I don't know. Like
people have issues, and sometimes people don't.
Yeah. Like,
some guns do, and some guns don't. I mean, I fired some guns, and it was the same gun, same manufacturer. One of them just must have been the specs were off that day or whatever.
You never know.
Shot like crap. And then you get the ones that are like, oh man, that one really fires really nicely. So
yeah, well, I got that with Canik with my my Mede, and they had a weird trigger in it. Like the trigger in the gun they sent me had like a double wall. Like you would pull the trigger and you'd be like, oh, there's the wall, it's gonna break, and then you'd be like, oh, there's the wall, it's gonna break, and then it'd finally break. It was really weird. So like I have video showing my finger pulling the trigger. There's the wall, pull the trigger, there's the wall. Like, and people are like, you're the only reviewer that said that. You must have bought that gun and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, they actually sent me the gun for free. I said that in the video, but the trigger sucked. It cleaned itself up. I don't know what was wrong with it. A burr, who knows, but it fixed itself. So it's fine. But like you and I like kind of do that where we'll give our honest opinion on something. You know, we even did it. I mean, we did it at the last media event that we were at talking about optics, and like, we won't mention the company just because we both are friends with him. But, you know, we had some issues with a couple little things that we didn't like or whatever. And like everybody else is like, oh, it's perfect, I love it. And we're like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, even with the Hollow Sun, like I give back really good feedback. I love this red dot optic. Don't get me wrong. The problem is there's only one button that cycles through the changes in the optics, and there's like 8 of them. So when you find your favorite, and then if you go too far, you now have to go 7 more cycles to get back around. Instead of making the other button go back to the one right before that. And so like I wrote that in the article. I was like, hey, this is the flaw in that, or not really a flaw, but it's like if you have a lot of people shooting the optic, you're gonna be going through this all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a back button.
Yeah. So that's really important though, is just giving feedback. I mean, like I shot the Echelon as well, actually with Jack Carr, which was funny. We both were like, huh.
Oh, that's
like
right.
We were surprised to like it. Yeah. And like, I mean, and the big thing with that red dot system is kind of revolutionary with not having to have the optics plates and make sure like you can direct mount. It's pretty cool. So
it is. I like their optic system.
Yeah, people give you crap. I'll say this too. One of my favorite guns that I reviewed was the Ruger 380, the Security 380.
Yeah.
I'm like, Ruger doesn't have any business, no offense, doing semi-automatic pistols. Like, I'm gonna get this. And I fell in love with it. It's like shooting a 22. And I'm like, and it has pretty decent capacity. I'm like, shoot, I like it. And that's what I like about my job, is like wanting to not like something and then getting it and be like, oh,
same. Yep, exactly. That's the like Taurus for me. I've reviewed every new Taurus on the market. I swear every single time Taurus comes out with a new gun, Athlon is like, here, we're gonna send it to you to review, because I've done like every one of them.
Yeah.
And I get crap for it all the time. Like, oh, Taurus sucks. Well, which new Taurus have you shot? And then everybody's like, oh, I shot a G2C a long time ago. Well, that's not a G3. You know, like, so, and I get crap for it all the time, but I've honestly, like the G3 tactical, it's like a $350 gun. And I've been blown away by that gun.
Yep, I have the GX4 or the G4 XL or whatever, the large size. And man, I mean, it just shoots.
They just run. I don't care what it is. If a gun runs, it runs. Like,
exactly.
Yeah. Yep. So even in my CPL classes and stuff, in Michigan here, like I get that question every time. It's the only question I won't answer is like, what gun should I buy? What gun should I carry? And I won't answer it because everybody's different, you know, and I'm a huge advocate of that like there is not a one gun for everybody. Like even the Nighthawk, somebody might pick up the Nighthawk and be like, I just don't like this gun. Maybe you got really small hands or something doesn't work right, you know?
Yep. The size of the hand, reaching the trigger. And that was the other stuff is like picking out the parts. People want to bash so many guns before realizing what they can modify or change. Like trigger shoe size, if you want it curved, flat, short, long, like there's so many different ways to fit the gun to you. It's the same thing with rifle. It's like you have to build the cheek weld, get the right stock, get the right cheek riser if you need it. So the thing that I want to say on this podcast, guys, is like before bashing a gun or what have you, set the gun up to you. Like you might need green fiber optic versus red. You don't know what you don't know until you're out there learning. But a lot of these guns are factory for a reason, but they have aftermarket support to customize it to you.
Yep, exactly. And that's what a lot of people just don't understand. I mean, I've literally had, you know, $1,500 Kimbers where somebody shot it and the hammer legitimately exploded and flew off the gun. And somebody shooting right next to him with $100 high point ran through every drill that I had. And I'm like, it's a high point. I would not carry one myself just because they're just giant, bulky bricks. But that thing ran through every drill and the $1,500 Kimber blew up. So like, I can't say it's a bad gun. You know what I mean? Like if it works for them and it got them into a gun and they are able to protect themselves, you know, whether they carry it, whether they just have it in their house, whatever it is, how can you knock it? Right.
It's like hammer blew up. And then as you're talking,
it literally blew
in my head, like you're talking,
blew
like,
the hammer straight off.
Listening to myself.
And it was like a commercial for iPro because it hit the guy right in the eye.
I was not a commercial for iPro when I let the grasshopper hit me in the eye in the dark without wearing iPro, but I wasn't shooting.
So let's talk about 3-gun Kenzie and how somehow you manage to hurt yourself like everything you do. You could be walking down the street and you hurt yourself.
Yep. So I've done that actually. I've like ripped my toenail off in my own home actually on a cabinet that from Security Gun Storage that I was doing for Athlon's video, like literally sliced between my toe where I thought that I needed stitches and I had to super glue it. Yeah, you cringe. For like
I'm cringing because that's
and I do this really well. So I do this at opportune moments where it's really important to hurt myself. So I did the slicing of the toe the day before I left for Blade Show. So 3 days on the trade show floor, walking like 10 to 12 miles a day around the show with this split open toe, trying to keep it clean, taped or glued, and then like re-splitting it open. I'm like, kamikaze grasshopper. I literally was just walking in the grass in Oklahoma, had a grasshopper punch me in the eyeball. I don't know if it died or not. I would have eaten it like out of spite, like no joke. If I could have found it, it would have been eaten just like that. I've cut my
grasshoppers at the next media event.
Yes.
I'm gonna be wearing iPro when I sleep now. Like I'm not joking. So that was the running joke. Like you don't wear iPro 24/7 just all the time. I'm like, maybe I should.
Like they make like don't they have like bubbles now that you can just go around in?
So guys, this is actually impressive. I shot a 70-person local match and my friends brought me a bubble wrap suit. I wore the bubble wrap suit. There's video. I shot stages in this bubble wrap suit. Guess who won the entire local match overall? Me. Wearing the bubble wrap suit.
That's badass. I love it.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
That is amazing. Did you just like roll around afterward and let them all pop? Like
I should have. What I did do is split the pants. Man, cheapest things I think I've ever worn. But I remember how to do this lean, and I just hear pop, 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 and I'm like,
oh, that's amazing. All right, now we have new goals for Rendezvous now.
And then for Blade Show, I bought these Kevlar gloves. And I like people would bring out the knives. I'm like, I'm not allowed to touch this. And they would look at me as like, don't worry, like I'm an adult, but I'm not allowed to touch this knife.
You gotta have like the dummy blades. So we were at SHOT Show one year and Doug Marcaida was there and he was doing stuff with 511. And me and my wife met him and we were talking to him and he was showing us his new knives that he was coming out with for 511. And he pulls this one out and like does this little demo on this dude and he like used it as a pressure point thing. And I'm like, how did that not just cut that dude's arm off? Like, what the hell? And he shows us that it's like a dummy blade, so it was like squared off. I'm like, oh, those would be perfect for people like you.
There you go.
Butterfly knives, yeah, I never even touched one of those or picked those up because they were trying to teach me how to spin it. I'm like, abso-freaking-lutely not.
No.
Yeah. How did Kenzie lose her finger? Butterfly knife.
I mean, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but I still have a scar from 3 stitches. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, right there. Yep.
Pulled it, brand new knife. I had it for an hour out of the sheath. Forgot that my finger was like over the sheath, and then whoop, sliced right down to the bone. Went to the ER. That was Memorial Day 2022 last year. So imagine being in the ER for like 12 hours because everybody's dumb. And I'm like, hi. And then they ask you if you're suicidal and stuff. Why would I cut my finger if I was
You're like, yeah, I was going for the wrist and totally missed.
Yeah. Instead of going back again, I came to the hospital to fix this. Yeah, that's why I'm suicidal. That's why I'm in an ER waiting to fix my finger.
on Memorial Day? On Memorial Day. I was
Yeah.
like, I would've like that.
That's the only place I wanted to be, right here in this ER.
Yeah, this is definitely what I want to do. I'm
Yep.
suicidal now after sitting here all
After
day.
hearing you
Yeah.
ask me that question, I think I might be thinking about it now.
So what's funny is that was an Essie knife. So I tagged them, they shared it, and now I have an awesome relationship with Essie knives. Taking one of their classes in January, got to hang out with them at Blade Show. See, honestly, some of these things that happen, I'm trying not to laugh, is like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny. It's funny in this industry though, how like that literally you just nailed it though. Like because I've had that happen where it was like something totally stupid, and like you tag the company or like they find out about it, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, you want to work together?" Like that's amazing. You know,
Let's work.
yeah. It's funny how that stuff happens.
For sure, 100%.
I'm totally bringing you like grasshoppers or something. Like, don't they make like chocolate covered?
They had there's a shop I stopped in up north. You know, the meat shops where they sell all the
Yeah,
different
yeah.
ostrich and alligator and all that. They had bags of grasshoppers and worms, like mealworms or something. I was like, I was gonna buy them too, but it was I think they wanted like $20 something. I was like, dude, for grasshoppers?
for grasshoppers.
I'll pick one off the
It's a
ground.
novelty item. It's just
Yeah.
a novelty
Just
thing.
I'll pick the legs out of Kenzie's eye.
Yeah.
Take it.
Oh, it's amazing. Oh man. So how did you get into three gun? First of all, you kind of hit on that at college and stuff, but like did you shoot as a kid? Like how did you get into guns in general?
I'll tell a 3-gun story after, but growing up, I was very fortunate. I share this a lot with people is like you either kind of grow up with guns in the household and those people are very lucky. They don't know any life without them, right? And those are very fortunate because you have someone teaching you, exposing you to the guns, teaching you how to shoot them. Or like you have to get into them really as an adult and make that decision. And it's very intimidating of where to start. What do I need? And unfortunately, these folks are going to indoor ranges or even outdoor ranges and just being treated like crap because they don't know what they don't know. But I grew up duck hunting, and that's kind of where my love of shotguns are. I have a 20 gauge little Winchester. I'm looking at my gun save. I can see it. And I wrote like my little initial and a Sharpie on it. Like, this is my shotgun for life, guys. But both grandpa's shot, my dad's shot. My dad's a good like gun collector. So I was just really fortunate being around them. Like, I never thought of anything different. He's actually, my dad's the one that gifted me my very first Glock, and that's the gun that I signed up like 4 days later to go shoot a GSSF match.
Nice.
So 3-gun, really funny though. 2017. I'm in Tallahassee, Florida. That's where I lived. And Talon Range was putting on a 3-gun match. Well, at the time, I bought a Daniel Defense V7 rifle from a buddy from the gun club off of him for like $1,000. So huge steal. It had flip up iron sights on it. I had my Glock 17 that my dad had gifted me, stock through and through, trigger, everything, just stock Glock. Didn't even have mag pouches. So we used pockets. The rifle mag pouch was my back pocket, and the most painful experience was the shotgun. So I have my Stoeger M3000, so old school shotgun. I didn't have an extension. I didn't know what ported, job meant for the actual loading port. I didn't have anything. So I had this like 5-round shotgun and just completely stock. And I didn't have any caddies. I didn't know what a shotgun caddy was. So Kenzie signs up, and I was the happiest person you'll ever have met at a 3-gun match with 0 gear that helps to actually shoot the match. So the long range stage, it had targets out to like 200 to 400 yards, misses on all of them. Okay, 100%. The shotgun loading portion, really was painful to watch of the single like loading shotgun when there's like 20 rounds on a stick. And I have videos that are very painful of all of the misses, 1,200 makeup shots, and like I don't remember it being miserable. Like I'm like out there shooting. I don't know how this happened, but I convinced 3 other dudes to go shoot this match with me. One of them won one of the divisions because he was just such a good shooter. But it's like that was where I feel like influence almost started. Is like I look back at that, I'm like, I brought 3 other shooters to pay and sign up for and shoot this match with me. Like 2 were students, 1 guy came from Orlando. So like I inspired all these people to come and we had a great time. So that was the very first 3-gun match. And after that, like 100% hooked. I ended up like shooting another major match, like I think a year after that. And got better gear, finally got a scope. I learned everything the hard way until I finally found like a friend of mine, Scott, that's been a mentor to tell me what I need and what I don't know. Because the scope was so hard with me. I had the black rim of death, and I learned out later, obviously, it's like that gun didn't fit you. You didn't have a cheek riser. You didn't have that eye relief set up. Like, so there's so much that I've learned now that I did everything the best way I could is I was on my own. But just signing up for matches and just being happy to shoot. Like, I just remember those days as like, I never saw it as daunting. I didn't do anything correctly, but I had a damn good time.
That's awesome. That takes some balls too, though, to like show up. Like I wouldn't be able to do that. If I was going to go try 3-gun, I would be like, I got to get shot. I got to get prepared. I got to have this. I got to have this. I'd be calling you. I'd be calling everybody like, what do I need? How much do I need to do? How many rounds do I need? Like, I would be freaking out because like, I just don't have that in me to do that. To just go out and be like, I just have this stock Glock. I'm going to go compete. Like the only competition I've ever done, and everybody always is like, you need to get into competition shooting. Like I'm decent. I'm a decent shooter. Mm-hmm. And everybody's like, you got to get into competition shooting. And like the only competition I've ever done was this little like 22 match at my friend's gun club. And that was when like he was literally like dying of cancer. And he was like, come shoot this with me. And I'm like, all right, I can't really deny this.
Right.
And it was like a bowling pin match where you shot bowling pins.
Those are fun. Those are fun
as hell. That was amazing. I would do that again because that was awesome. But
yeah.
Other than that, like I don't have the balls to do it. I wouldn't be able to.
I roped a lot of people in, like, and I still do that, and I don't know how. So like my very first GSSF match, I did everything wrong in terms of signing up because like they don't teach you how to sign up where when you arrive on the range, I don't know if you know this, you have to go sign in on each stage. And then whatever stage you're like ready to shoot, you X in. And then like whoever X'd in before you, before they arrived, it's very confusing, is like priority in terms of shooting order. So I never signed in on any bay besides the one. I waited 8.5 hours in 117 degrees. It was record breaking August heat.
Nice.
To shoot a stage. And I was happy to be there. Like, yay. But I brought a friend who was in grad school with me at the time. And like, this is the community, right? So there was an RO that had a spare Glock and he let him shoot a stage with his gun. And so like, it spiraled where poor Betsy, my friend Betsy went with me to one of my very first 3-gun majors once I was set up and I made her shoot the match. The only thing that she had of her own was her inner belt. The rest was all me, my shotgun, my pistol, like all of that. She ended up hating 3-gun, which is fine because shotgun's not her thing. But now she's an extreme long range shooting competitive shooter. So she's out there. She shot PRS. She shot as an amateur. Like, so she's shooting. And now I've had like my friends' spouses come shoot with their daughter come shoot because of me. We've shot Steel Challenge. They all shoot my guns. Malin's competed with me, and every match, I don't know why, but I'm like roping people in that are now hooked on shooting. And so that's the fun part for me. And I don't know how it keeps happening. And don't get me wrong, like 90% of the matches I go to, it's me by myself with my own gear, just showing up and being happy to be there. But it is a lot more fun when you have some people to shoot with.
That's awesome. And you talked about like the whole shooting as a kid and everything, you know, and that's awesome. I wish I had that because my dad didn't like guns. My parents were like anti-gun, like no way, you will never. I'm gonna kill this fly.
Dude, I know. I keep catching it out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, if you start seeing shots fired over here,
sorry,
I won't hit you.
We're like squirrels over here. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
But my parents just they were like, no way, you'll never have a gun in my house. Blah 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 blah. And
isn't that funny? That was mine too. Like I had to be 18 and I basically forced my mom to let me have the gun in the house because if she didn't, I was like, I don't remember what I did.
Yeah.
I might have snuck it in. I don't know. But I remember going to Dunham's and buying my first 12 gauge. Yeah. I was like, this is it. We're on now. So then from there it's never stopped.
Yeah. And that exactly. And that's what I do, everybody thinks that like I grew up, they're like, oh, you must have grown up hunting, you must have grown up with guns and this and that and everything else.
Same here.
Like my second hunting experience ever was literally in a blind with you shooting our first pig. Like that was my, that's it. Like, I mean, I guess
that was my third. I mean, that was only my
second. That's only the second animal. Well, if you include the rabbits that we killed, I guess we could call that a few more, but I'm not counting those.
Yeah. I mean, like, it depends on the community of the family. Like, so like ours was like duck hunting, and then I never had shot a deer until I was 21, 22. I can't remember how old I was. And then the second one was a year ago, and then that was first boar. So it's not a lot of it, but it is, like something where I'm very fortunate. Like, don't get me wrong. And then I look back, 'cause it's funny, you have that, like, I wish I had guns, period. It's like, I wish my dad and mom were the people signing me up for Steel Challenge when I was 8 years old, so I could be a world champion by the time I'm 14. Like,
right? Yeah.
These kids have no idea how freaking lucky and blessed they are, and they won't. And I think until they grow up and appreciate that, it's like, man, if I started earlier, I would be a lot better shooter now.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's what's so funny though, is because you hear these people like with what I do, and I'm very, you know me, I'm very outspoken in this industry, and I'm an instructor. I write, for the magazines. I'm a photographer. I do video stuff. I do all this stuff, and everything I do now is guns. I mean, I freaking have an AR on my arm. Come on. So to go from like 0 to 100, in just really honestly a short amount of time. I didn't buy my first gun until I was 21 years old. I'm 39 now, so you can do the math. But and I didn't even get into this though. I bought my first gun out of necessity, and when I bought it, I got pissed off because I wanted to learn. I knew nothing. I literally knew nothing, and no gun shops would help me. Like they were all useless. Like it was the Car PM9 at the time, and that was like the only real little concealed carry gun. And it won like gun of the year, like 3 years in a row at SHOT Show and all this stuff. And like, I'm watching like the videos and everything, and people are talking about how good this gun is. And every gun shop I went into was like, this gun's junk. You want a Glock? This gun's junk. Go ahead, buy this Glock. And I'm like, I don't want the freaking Glock. I want this gun. And that's literally what motivated me to get into what I do now. But I didn't realize it until like 10, 15 years later. When it was jumping around job to job. And then I was like, I'm tired of this. I just want to do what I want to do. And it's funny because like I've converted my dad. My dad owns like 10 guns now. My brother, same thing. Like my brother never wanted to shoot nothing. He owns a bunch of guns now. My mom's not really into it still, but she does shoot. I've had her shoot a few times. And it's just funny to me because like I watched like my son growing up, your kids growing up now, like the first picture I have of holding my son, I had an AR on my shirt. So it's like that kid has grown up with guns. He has no idea how lucky that he is. Like the stuff he's shot, the stuff he's held. It's like people, adults that are 50 years old would die to be in his position. It's just funny.
Yep.
So what we always do a thing on here where we talk about, we have like a gun of the week. Right. That's what we call it. We're not very original.
Yeah.
So obviously your three gun.
Pretty much what it is though. I mean, it's like, it's a gun.
It is
it's
a gun.
the one that we're talking about this week. So
we had,
I don't know.
We have two guns.
We could change it to guns of the week.
Guns
Talk
of the
about
week.
two. Maybe. I don't know.
I feel like we need to make a catchy name for
Gun
it.
of the week.
Gun of the week.
Oh, that's what it is. I
You
mean,
Well, it's
weekly
funny.
dose of gunnage.
For listeners too, as Danny's about to dive in, is like, okay, we're gonna do a gun of the week, and I'm like, but I'm 3-gun Kenzie, like I can't do anything without 3 guns.
Yeah, so that's why I told you have your 3-gun setup in front of you today, because I just want to talk about 3-gun Kenzie, 3-gun setup. So I don't even really know that much about 3-gun because I don't shoot competition. So it's just something that like I've never really looked into that much. I know there's 3 guns involved, right? Yep. There's rifle, shotgun, and pistol. So walk us through your setup and I guess explain to anybody that's interested in 3-gun or looking into 3-gun, like what you use each gun for.
Sure. Yep. And we're gonna make this a little slightly convoluted too, is like it depends on the division that you want to shoot in 3-gun as well. So there's open, there's limited, there's tac ops. So I'm just going to confuse everyone. We have a modified division now too. So I'm going to do my best. But
You already
essentially,
lost me.
I know. So if you were shooting like tac ops, then everything, just think about iron sights on a shotgun, iron sights on a pistol. It has to be tube fed shotgun, and your rifle would have your optic. So you can have a low power variable optic scope. You cannot run like an offset red dot. It would be offset iron sights. So again, convoluted because it's more intimidating if you don't know the rules. So like read the rule sets. The new modified division is actually like what I'm excited about, because you can have a red dot optic on your pistol. So it gives you a little bit better, I think, with the 2023, like everyone's carrying with a red dot. Red dot's the way to go. I think it's more normal to have a red dot than it is iron sights now. Open division is where you're adding that mag fed shotgun. So I'll show you my guns for kind of both. So the Nighthawk, if anyone watched any of my videos, you can look them on Instagram. We shot tac ops. So thank you, Adam Litke. Even though he works for Hollow Sun, we had to shoot iron sights. So that was so funny. So I do shoot my Nighthawk. It's funny because I had to take the red dot off just to shoot that match and then put the red dot back on. But you know, if you're shooting 3-gun, you can have a magwell. There's no like kind of USPSA rules with all the magwell, whatever. It's like run what you got. Iron sights or red dot is kind of the name of the game. So I've shot my Canic rival actually in the last 3-gun match before I had the Nighthawk, ran that with an SRO on it. So, and again, I've shot a Glock. So it's kind of up to you. But the hardest thing to get into for 3-gun is the shotgun. Benelli is now making like a 3-gun ready shotgun, which is freaking awesome. Stoeger now makes their 3-gun shotgun as well. And the reason I bring those guns up is they come with a tube already on the gun. They already kind of did a little bit of work to the port, but I shoot a TTI Benelli M2 3-gun shotgun, and it's huge. So it is, I think this one is a 21-inch barrel, and then I have extended choke. So this is adding length to it. But the tube for this one, I think, is a 13+1 rounds. Again, I probably should know that, but I know that at the start, if you're shooting tac ops, you can only have 8 rounds in the tube and 1 in the chamber. And then I can quad load, meaning 4 rounds after that. So it can hold 12. But the biggest thing for the shotguns is the port. So you do have this open port that makes loading a lot easier. You have an enhanced like lifter, competition follower. So TTI did all the work on this. And on the outside, I have a match saver to put a spare shotgun round. So if I ever run the shotgun dry, I can kind of move my hand and throw that round into the chamber pretty quick.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Everything on here is stippled. I mean, the grip is super comfortable, nice and oversized controls on the safety itself. This is a beast of a workhorse of a shotgun. I've been through, I won't name names, but 3 shotguns to get to this one. And this has been the only one that's run reliable 100% of the time. So absolutely love it. And the name of the game for a 3-gun, it just like Skeet and Trap, is patterning your shotguns and knowing your chokes. So for 3-gun, we typically run a light mod, sometimes a mod, and we can run like a skeet choke, but not many people kind of do that. The light mod's kind of the sweet spot, or improved cylinder. The reason I bring that up, 3-gun, we make it extra hard. We'll put no shoot shotgun targets next to shoot shotgun targets. So if you choke up, that way you only hit the target you intend to and not the penalty target. And so really knowing your shotgun is the hardest part for people that want to go shoot 3-gun. It's not a platform a lot of people shoot. So upgrading, and this is a special announcement just for this podcast, is I am honored and excited and just so humbled that I get to join the Genesis Arms shotgun team. So they have sent me the Gen 12.
Is awesome.
Look at that thing.
So excited. So this Gen 12 shotgun that I'm showing here, a couple of things for people that are familiar with ARs, they're going to be happy because it is AR controls. So you have your mag release on the other side. You've got they did a nice, like kind of an extended bolt release to make it easy to find.
Nice.
You've got your ambi safety on both sides. And guys, this is my favorite part. This has the Hyperfire Eclipse trigger in it already. Okay.
Awesome.
So the trigger is light. Yeah, and I run that trigger in my rifles and in my PCCs. So one trigger kind of rules all.
That trigger's so badass too.
I want to shoot that thing like right now.
So the F1 that I have, it's a 9mm PCC, and I just got that thing back and I forgot it had that trigger in it. I went and shot it the other day and I'm like, oh my God, this trigger's amazing.
And when you start competing too, is like finding a trigger that works across all platforms is really helpful, especially like if you shoot a flat trigger on a 1911, probably should shoot a flat trigger on your rifles. And so having the Eclipse, legitimately, that's my competition trigger in all my guns. So it's easy to switch platforms. And it sounds weird, right? For people that are like, why does triggers matter? It's like switching triggers is the most painful experience for me. Single stage, two stage triggers and the trigger weight. I'm like, oh, so one trigger. But I'm excited about this Genesis because it has a ported barrel, which you can kind of see in this up top. So that's taking all those like gases out when you're shooting. And the JMac 2-port comp as well is on here. So got the EOTech red dot optic, flared magwell, which you need in an open shotgun to make your reloads a lot less painful, believe me.
Giant ass magazine.
Yeah. This has the ambi side charging handle. And they're working on mine right now, but Pyro makes on Instagram makes these couplers so we can extend it. And so they're setting up me with 15 round and 20 round magazines. So when you're shooting 3-gun, especially in open, because the shotgun is where you make up the most amount of time compared to if you're running against guys with a tube gun. Reloading is easy, but you don't want to reload 10 or 12 mags 10 times on a stage. You just want to reload maybe once. And so getting those extenders is really important as well.
So what 3-gun class are you running that in then? Because you can't run that in the same class as your other shotgun, right?
Right. So this is open. So full open. Yeah. It's kind of like you can have a primary dot, an offset dot. You can extend your mags. I know some people do it out to like 30. I think there's some that are trying to get those.
Sorry, I knocked that guy out as I was turning. My magazine hit him in the head. It's like, can you imagine? Like, oh man.
I have a VR80 that I've had forever, and it came. They sent me when they sent me that gun. They sent me their 24 round mag, I believe. Yeah. The thing is, it like literally curls over.
I see pictures of me holding it. It looks almost like I'm holding a movie prop.
It does.
Like it doesn't look like it does. It looks like it's like a big foam fake gun. And then all of a sudden it's like boom, boom, boom. It's like, oh man, that thing really fires. It's like,
yeah. So people don't understand. So how many mags do you carry on you? Because that's what I was gonna say too. Right?
Yes, so that's what I was gonna say is that most shotgun, so every 3-gun match for the most part has a shotgun only stage, which is my favorite. And I'm not joking when I say it's minimum of like 45 rounds on a stage for tube or open. Like everybody shoots the same stage, even though they're competing in different divisions. Yeah. I've seen some matches have like 20 or 65 round stages. Sorry. So when you think about that, and I have videos and pictures all over Instagram that I've posted this of me doing like a twirl, is like my Invictus caddies for my tube gun. I literally have setups of like 16 caddies, a 12 rounder, a 8s, a chest rig. Like you're covered in shells because you're going to drop rounds. You're going to miss some shots. And this is really fun. Thank you, match directors. They like to mix in slugs and bird shot, so you have to know your mags or where your slugs are on your belt if you're loading into slugs. But yeah, so they make a couple of things. They make clips that are just literally what it looks like a clip that slide in between your inner and your outer belt. What I run actually is ELS. So ELS is from Safariland, and everything has kind of like a base, and then you pinch the clips that are on the back of the mag pouches or on the back of, say, a shotgun mag pouch. What we do to kind of cheat for 3-gun for shotgun is on our mag holders for shotgun, we shave the sides of the fork off. So all you have to do is lift, and that whole entire mag comes off. So what's interesting is like this is basically attached to the magazine. So it lives on the magazine itself. Gotcha. Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely.
And the reason why I do ELS, and anybody looking to get into 3-gun, this is a pro tip, is get ELS. And the reason I say that is 90% of us competitive shooters in 3-gun run this gear, meaning, hey, you need a mag pouch? Here you go. Put on your belt, right? You need a shotgun caddy? Here you go. So it's really easy to swap, and then you can move your belt to have your pistol mag pouches in the rear, or have your rifle mag pouches, move back or forward. So it's super nice to be able to change that up.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Rifle world though, I want to harp a little bit on this. So this was the very first rifle my buddy Scott and I, he helped me majorly build. It's a Stormtrooper customization rifle. But this was the name of the game. So this that I'm showing is the Luth AR stock. The Luth AR stock is adjustable cheek riser, so you can move this up and down. The length of pull can change as well. And so this is set up for me where I was like I said, I was struggling to find my scope, and I realized way too late that I didn't have the proper cheek rise. And so that's kind of become my backup rifle because I'm building one for this season. And it's kind of a joke, but I even stuck like a foam cheek riser on my other 3-gun thing just to get the height that I needed.
Yeah.
And you'll see that. You'll see guys with duct tape literally just to make a cheek weld on the back of their stock.
That's awesome.
But the big thing with the rifle is just finding an optic that works. I don't know if you can tell. Do you see how beat up that is?
Oh yeah.
So this poor rifle and scope has been thrown in dump barrels left and right. But the scope is the Trijicon Credo 1-8, and I've been running that now on all my rifles. It's a mil reticle, so I'm not doing MOA anymore, especially because I shoot PRS. But the rifle too, this one has the hyperfire trigger, so everything has hyperfire in it. I do adjustable gas blocks in all my guns. This has the Rage muzzle brake on it, and even Unrivaled Technologies is now making a really tunable muzzle brake. And so everything for me is kind of a cheater model gun to take all of the recoil out of my guns to make it feel like shooting a 22.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So the only difference with open is adding an offset red dot optic, which is what I will put back on this because I had to shoot iron sights recently.
Gotcha. Does I just have to, does the chamber flag say "Let's go, Brandon"?
Sure does.
That's amazing. I thought it did.
Oh, and hold on. So my friend made this custom for me. The pickle chamber.
Pickle chamber flag. But what is with the pickle with you? Like, I've never gotten that story actually.
It's just that I'm obsessed with pickles. My whole life, I love pickles. I don't discriminate on size, on color, on shape. Like, doesn't matter. But like, love pickles, and so I always have pickles. Did a whole pickle jersey. Yeah, now we got pickles.
That's amazing. That is awesome. So for anybody that would want to get into 3-gun, me or Chris, if we wanted to go shoot 3-gun, what are the necessities? I guess I'm
fancy hats.
I'm not rich.
Shirts,
I'm not rich
pants.
like you.
Like,
what do I
wait a minute,
need
I'm
to
talking
do?
outfit here. Like,
No.
I'm like, if we're gonna be on stage, we gotta have some fancy hats and shirts, right?
Yeah. Right.
Listen, no, if I did it, if I can do it, you can do it. So, if you got whatever pistol at home that you got, it's more fun to have something with like 15 plus rounds of capacity. I'll say that, but run your stock gun. Make sure you have an outside the waistband though holster. I don't think many 3-guns let you put it in like an inside the waistband configuration.
Okay.
But you do want a holster with proper retention. And I say that out of love because I've DQ'd my DQ with the pistol was it flying out of the holster. It was unloaded, no mag, nothing, but it came out because now I use, it's up there, a hooded holster. So have a good retention holster, whether it's hooded or not, just make sure it can tighten down. So run a stock Glock, run a stock Canic. I love those guns. For a rifle, like I said, the only thing that really matters, you could run a stock rifle out of a shop, but get an LPVO. So a 1-8, 1-6, 1-10. Like I'm going to run the EOTech 1-10 this season. Trijicon makes great optics. I've seen them all. I've seen Athlon optics as well on guns. LPVO. And then
shoot for the rifle, like caliber wise, what, like, is it all?
53.
That's it. You can't go, like, can you show up if you wanted to show up with a 50? Could you show up with one?
No, but you can show up with the 308. So here's the funny thing is
I don't know. Like, I don't know if you're like, if it's limited to like a small 22 or smaller. I show up with my fully auto 50. Let's roll.
No, definitely not full auto. Okay. So
Fucking
the
Rambo
divisions,
over here.
oh my God. Yeah. The divisions will tell you what calibers you can shoot in them. And I mean, the main one is 223, but there is a heavy division. So if you wanted to shoot heavy, it's kind of funny. They changed the rule recently in one of the matches that you could have a double stack like 40 cal. And so a lot of the 2011s that are major power factor for USPSA fit that category. But there were people that were shooting back in the day in heavy division with single stack 1911s 45 caliber, and they would have a shit ton of magazines all over them. So that was a lot. But you could shoot 308. And so 308 was neat because you could shoot one shot at paper with 308 to annihilate the target versus with 223, those guys would have to shoot 2 or 1 in the A zone, depending on the rule set. So, yeah, you could shoot those. I was gonna say, I'm sure there are people out there that I don't know of shooting 7.62. Probably.
Yeah.
Like probably doing that.
Yeah.
The shotgun's the hardest part though, is like, I do recommend, if you were trying to get started, is find some 3-gunner near you that has extra gear, or let you try his guns and go shoot like a match, right? And so, well, before I get into practice score, is tube fed shotgun, you want an extended tube. That's the minimum. It is not fun to load 5 rounds, like it's just not fun. Or go full open, go get the mag fed shotgun. You've got Vepers, Segas, you got the Gen 12, Distant Arms. I mean, there's so many mag fed shotguns out there now, the Typhoons, like it just depends on kind of what you can find and afford.
Yeah.
But if you want to get in it, practicescore.com, you can search 3-gun. But like I said, most people know clubs or matches that happen near them. So if you know like a range that puts on 3-gun, just show up, go talk to the competitors, ask questions, you know, and you might make a buddy or two. For me, it's like, if anyone just talks to me or DMs me or whatever, I've got my friend Brooke signed up this fall for a 3-gun match with me, because she's like, all right, I want to do it. I was like, cool. Get your inner belt together. I got the rest.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's cool.
We want you shooting. And that does give you the opportunity to not have to buy like 10 grand worth of crap and then hate it. Right. So like, like I said, if you get
try it before you buy it.
try before you buy it. But I think the last hard thing I'll say is like, get that ELS belt. You do need a good sturdy belt. If you have ELS, not all, but most 3-gunners use that configuration, so you can borrow everything: mag pouches, shotgun caddies, you know, all of that. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What do you shoot pistol wise? What caliber?
Oh, 9mm with the Nighthawk, the cheater. This 9mm Nighthawk feels like a 22 suppressed.
Oh yeah, those things are ridiculous.
That's awesome.
But like I said, I ran the Canic Rival, not the steel frame, just the regular. Before that, I ran the Glock 17. I mean, I've shot everything painfully, and then everything at the higher end level, because that's what I shoot now.
Yeah, I like it. Cool. Well, we're gonna let you go. I appreciate your time. Tell everybody where can they find you on social media, YouTube, all that good stuff.
Yeah, easiest thing is 3-Gun Kenzie on Facebook, on Instagram, and then at Reticle Up on Instagram. On YouTube is Reticle Up Podcast. You know, I'm on everything: Spotify, Apple, Google, so you can listen to the podcast. And shout out to Andy. He came on mine, so you can go listen to Andy's episode on the Reticle Up Podcast, where I interview him, especially about that first gun that you purchased and why. So find out more.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.